Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm playing Campaigns of King David. Well, and we're still in the first turn, and we really got to increase the pace a little bit here. Basically what we've seen is that Judah had a pretty bad start into the game. They only managed to capture these two cities here, Ashdod and Ashkelon, and Jerusalem. A little bit here of the area, and that's it. And I think usually they could have definitely done better and maybe got 2 or 3 additional cities here. And they're now at the point where they nearly lost all their units. I think they're down to, I don't know, 4 units or something. The rest are leaders. 3 units here. So they're right now in a pretty weak position, actually. The Philistines managed to hold back Judah, so therefore I think they can be happy. Moab is slowly improving. They captured a little bit of this neutral areas here, and now they might even consider moving here into this area, maybe even grabbing Jerusalem, as long as Judah doesn't have really the forces to defend themselves. Maybe they can consider that. And finally, between Aramea and Tyre, I think well, it's still a pretty open battle. They've both lost a lot of units here, but in the end nobody really gained a lot. Okay, so let's work now through the second half of the first turn. And as I said, I'm gonna not do everything in detail anymore. We do the resource phase first, and it's basically the same as the food phase, except you take your resources instead of the food. The Philistines, they're gonna play this event, decrease resources against Judah, which brings Judah again in quite some trouble. So they gain 1 less resource for each area they control. And yeah, then we're gonna do all the others. Okay, so before we move on to the next action phase, I just want to point out that the Arameans received 52 resource points. That's just amazing. The next strongest faction, which was I think Tyre, they received 27. So that gives you just an idea how much resources and food in the bag Aramea actually has. So in the long run, they will be able to build a large force and also maintain that force. Okay, we're in the action phase, and Judah hasn't done a lot. They basically moved their leaders back into the cities so that they can then bring their forces that they get during the build phase back to the front in a faster way. The Philistines have spread out a little bit, taking control of some of Judah's areas here. And now we're with the Arameans, and what we see is that Tyre plays the Royal Death event, which which doesn't allow the Arameans to move during this action phase. So they cannot move or attack during this phase, and that brings them in quite some trouble, because we have this army here of Tyre, which might now attack the city of Ijon, and we want to keep that city, because if we lose that city, it will really take a long way for our troops. We can only place our troops in cities or adjacent to cities. I mean, the new troops we build. So it takes us a long way to get to this into this area then. So it's pretty important to hold on to that city. And if I would now not be able to move because of the royal debt, that would mean I cannot bring any reinforcements in here, where there are only 2 already wounded units. So that would definitely be a problem. So I'm going to play this event, God's Intervention, and that simply cancels another event. So I'm now still allowed to do something here, and I'm going to move these guys back into the city. And then we got these guys here, pretty strong force. I think, I'm not absolutely sure. I mean, yeah, I think I'm gonna move here, just in case Tyre manages to take the city anyway, and I can take it back right away before we come to the next build action here. And indeed, we're seeing a battle here at Ijon now. Tyre is attacking. So they have these 4 phalanx, which is a pretty strong force. Now we just need some dice here. 1. 3. Okay, there we go. 4 10-siders. Well, that was okay, basically. That's a 10, 22, and then we can add 7, so that's 29. There we go. The defenders have 4 8-siders. Well, that was also pretty good. So that's a 10, 20, 25, 28. Okay, that was a good one. So 28, that means we take here, we lose basically 2 units, and then we take 8 more hits. The others lose 29, that means they lose, gosh, 3 units. Okay, I think they're gonna give away, I don't know, this one and that one, and probably this one. So then they're down to 1 unit, and they take 5 more hits. And I think they want to continue fighting, but then there is a risk that we lose our leader, which sucks. So I think I'm actually going to move back. I don't want to lose that leader. So I'm going to move, I'm going to retreat here. We already have 4 units in here, so I cannot retreat there. I'm going to move here. And now these 2 guys can try to take Eon. I'm not sure if I really want to do that, simply because I'm probably going to lose it anyway during the next turn again, so therefore maybe I should not do it. But as long as it's under siege, the enemy cannot place any troops in there during the build phase. So for now, I think I basically I achieved the main goal that I had without sieging the city. Okay, now we come to the event phase. It's the first time we're doing this. So basically all that happens is every player simply draws one of these event markers, and yeah, that's it. We have here some effective weaponry, which is obviously useful during combat. Judah has the decreased resources, and I'm already seeing the Philistines suffering from that. Moab gets the ineffective weaponry. The Act of God, I think that gives you a reroll. And finally Tyre. Recruit prisoners. Well, during a combat you can take the fallen units from the enemy for one resource and make them your own units. So that's pretty useful. Okay, now we come to the next action phase. And yeah, we're probably going to see more fighting over Ilion there. And then maybe Jerusalem will get conquered. It's going to be interesting if Moab gets it or the Philistines. I think in the end Moab is the stronger force here. Judah and the Philistines are probably not doing too much. Okay, I've seen a funny situation here. The Judah player moved into Gaza with 2 units, trying to capture that after the Philistine player kind of left it only with 2 units. But there were 2 fresh units from Judah, and the Philistine units were only 1 step. But in the end it turned out that the siege didn't went well for Judah, and so the city has just fallen, but all Judah units are also destroyed. So in this case it remains under Philistine control. Okay, so now basically the only interesting thing that happened is that Jerusalem is now under Moab control. They've taken it without any losses. And it's interesting now, if we see who's in the lead now and we take these modifiers, then clearly Moab is in the lead. They control 2 cities. This is taken by 2.5, so that gives them basically 5 cities now that they gained. Judah has conquered only 2 cities. Aramea 1. And that's basically it. The Philistines are even because, well, they actually even lost the city. So, yeah, I mean, right now it's clearly Moab. But the game will go on for quite a while. So we come now to the next build phase. And after that we see the event phase. So I'm done with the build phase here. And Judah managed to build a not too strong army here with lots of single step units in Hebron, trying to defend the city against the hordes of Moab that come down here. And overall they are now really in a defensive position, and it's going to be, I mean, if it continues that way, that Moab and the Philistines are both fighting against them, they'll be probably doomed. It's going to be very, very hard for them to resist here with their little resources they can gain from their areas. They've lost basically all their conquered terrain except for these two cities here, and so they'll have a hard time. But maybe they can now make a deal with someone else, let's say with Moab, and we can together fight the Philistines or something like that. It might be possible. The Arameans, they had a lot of resources and food, and they invested also a lot. They have built that big stack of units here, mostly of them full step units, also a few here. So they're going to go for another attack against Tyre. Tyre also tried to build a few units, but they didn't have that much left. And Moab had really trouble with paying the maintenance, simply because they had the biggest army. They haven't fought much until now, and therefore, they basically had all their starting units left. They don't have much income from their land, so they had to spend all their food and in addition trade some resources here. So they are very short of food here. That's kind of interesting. Everybody else is more short of resources, while Moab has always lots of problems getting enough food for its guys. Okay, so that is the end of the build phase now. And so at the very end of the turn we see another event phase, and everybody draws another event marker here. The secret entrance, that's very helpful when sieging a city. Siege works, that's another one. And by the way, you can have as many of these event counters in your hand. There is no, as you want, there is no limit. Another siege works. A bribe, not even sure what that is. I think it allows you to get units from the enemy or something, but I'm not sure about that. And another act of God, which gives you a reroll. Okay, so I'm done with the first turn now, and just let me check if there are some additional things to do at the end of the turn, but I don't think so. No, it's only the victory determination, and obviously nobody has won that game right now. I'm going to load this up. I'm not sure. I think it's a pretty short video, but I want to come to the point where I do a video for each turn. So that's where I want to start in the next, with the next video. So I'm going to finish this here and load this up. Oh yeah, and of course, a proper goodbye. I hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.